President Cyril Ramaphosa has conducted an oversight visit to the newly built Redstone concentrated solar power plant in Upington. The project, which forms part of the Renewable Energy Independent Power Producers Program, hopes to bring additional megawatts to the grid. Our reporter Govan Whittles spoke to two engineers currently working on the project.
Coming to you live from basically the site of an IPP, an independent power producer. It's got a license. It's going to supply Eskom with electricity once the site comes online. But beyond that, it meets some of the objectives set out in what they call the just transition, which is moving South Africa to a net carbon zero economy, essentially. Net carbon zero is important because that means while we will have carbon emissions, sites like this will ensure that we generate energy without further carbon emissions and kind of put a cap on how much Eskom is emitting. Eskom, one of the most notorious emitters of carbon in the world. So the president seems very excited about the prospect of solar power being generated here, but it's not your average solar farm with photovoltaic screens that absorb the sunlight and generate the energy. In this case, the mirrors that you see behind me will be reflecting sunlight towards a tower that is 212 or 211 meters high. You'll see it come into frame right now. And that tower essentially will capture the sunlight that has been reflected off these mirrors, which will be stationed in a circular pattern. And after that, it'll burn some of the energy to create it. But of course, this is way too technical for me, so with me I have two of the engineers that built that tower that you just see behind you. It's Mr. Kupedi Malau as well as Mr. Josela. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for your time. Let's begin with the tower itself. What does it do and why does it need to be so tall?
Yeah, thanks for this opportunity. I'm a Lucky Kupedi Malau and SEPCO EPC engineer. I'm the one who started to build the tower. As you can see how tall it is the tower, which is 211 meters higher, which is attracting the energy from the sun, and the sun which is being created by 42 plus mirrors, which you can see behind us, and which is burning the salt, and the salt is turning out the turbine, and the turbine is creating the energy, electricity.
All right, let me bring in Mr. Josela. Exactly how did you build that, and what kind of civil works are necessary to achieve it?
Okay, to begin with, the tower has 120 piles beneath it. So it took us approximately 2 months to build a foundation, which was 2,000 cubes of concrete. To put that in mind, it was about 600 trucks of concrete that had to be poured into the foundation. The tower shaft itself was done with sliding work technology, so we had slip form. It took us about 7 months to complete. The tower is actually 211.6 meters tall, and the receiver sits on top of that, which is 38.4 meters. In total, the total height is 250 meters.
So this looks very technical and something for which specialist skills are required. Both of you are South Africans. Are these South African people building this? Where do you get the skills, and how many jobs are they creating here?
To start with the skill set, the sliding formwork had to come from Germany, but then majority of the work on site was done by locals, and there was skill sharing. The Germans who came in showed us how to use the system. So most of the people that are here are building their first tower, but some of us are here for the second time. So we were there to share our knowledge, and they shared theirs with us, and our workers learned from both. Yeah.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. Let's leave it right there. Some of the technical aspects of this project that we're on, the IPP. The president currently in a briefing still with the ministers and the leadership of Aqua Power as well as those of SEPCO. And of course, he'll be coming to the factory where we are right now. It's where the mirrors are not only stored but constructed. He'll have a look around in the factory, and afterwards we're hoping to take you up to that tower. It should be pointed out that there is already one of these factories in Upington, but it doesn't produce the 100 megawatts of power which they envision this production plant, this IPP, will be able to contribute to the grid. But as I said, that's only in 2024, so for now it remains a project under construction, but firmly within the President's vision of the reconstruction of South Africa's economy. It's